Welcome back. This video on key tips for buying your home covers how to negotiate the best offer. Whether you're a buyer or a seller, it's only natural and I think reasonable to want the best outcome for yourself. But what are the steps that you need to negotiate the best possible deal? Well, negotiation is a complex skill and not all transactions are the same. They are in fact very different in most cases. Both sides, whether you're a buyer or a seller, you want to feel that the outcome favours you, or at least is fair. In most cases, there's a bit of bluff, some give and take, and neither party gets everything they want. So how do you develop a strong bargaining position? One that'll help you get the most from a transaction. Well, my experience shows that there are some key areas which will determine who wins at the negotiating table. The first is who has the expertise. The easiest way to describe this is, imagine you're in an altercation. The other person has black belts in 12 martial arts, and you don't. Well, who's going to win? Real estate agents have long represented sellers, and now a buyer agent is entirely common. In a transaction where one side has representation and the other side doesn't, well, who has the advantage at the bargaining table? When you sell your home, which we call your most valuable asset, and if not, certainly one of the most valuable assets that you have, you employ a skilled real estate agent to negotiate the best outcome for you. Well, doesn't it make sense to use a professional agent to negotiate the best outcome for you when you purchase? The second key point in negotiating the best possible offer is the detail in the offer. And what I mean by this is a lot of attention in real estate is paid to transaction prices. And this surely makes sense, but the key to a good outcome may be more complex. Consider that there are two identical properties that each sell on the same day for $1 million. The houses are the same, the sale prices are the same, but are the deals the same? Well, maybe not. For instance, one owner may have agreed to paint the property and replace the roof, and the other owner made no concessions at all. In this example, the first house was actually sold at a discount. The $1 million purchase price less the value of the painting and the roof repairs. And if you're a buyer, this is the deal you want. And if you're a seller, you'd prefer to be the second owner and give up nothing. The third key point for negotiating the best possible offer is financing. Real estate transactions involve a trade. Houses for money. We know the house is there, but what about financing? There are several factors that impact the money issue. Has the buyer been pre-qualified or what we call pre-approved by a lender? Meeting with a lender before looking at homes doesn't usually guarantee that financing is absolute, unquestionably available. A loan application can be declined because of valuation problems, title issues, survey findings or other reasons. But buyers who are pre-approved at least have some idea of their ability to finance a home and know that they're likely to qualify for certain loan programs. The result is that pre-qualified buyers represent less risk to owners than a purchaser who's never met with a lender. If the seller accepts an offer from a buyer with unknown financial strength, it's possible that the transaction could fall over because the buyer can't get a loan. Meanwhile, the owner may have lost the opportunity to sell to a qualified buyer. The lower the interest rate, the larger the pool of potential buyers. More buyers equals more potential demand, which is great news for sellers. Alternatively, high rates or even rising rates may drive buyers from the marketplace, and that's not good for anyone. It used to be that deposits were a major financing hurdle, but not anymore. For those with good credit, loans with 10% deposit or less are now widely available. In fact, 100% financing mortgages with no deposit are now being offered by the larger conventional lenders. Reduced deposit requirements are good for both buyers and sellers. The fourth key area to negotiate the best possible offer is what does the market say? At various times we're in a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a market where housing supply and demand are roughly equal, and we call that a neutral market. If possible, you want to be in the market at a time when it favours your position as a buyer or seller. Because all properties are unique, it's possible to buck general trends and have more leverage than the marketplace would seem to allow. For instance, if you've got a property in a desirable neighbourhood with few sales, you may be able to get a better deal than elsewhere. Or if you're a buyer who can quickly settle, well, that might be really important when negotiating with an owner who maybe is going over to the eastern states for work to move.